Hi fam, the name is Xander or R, and I am here to bring you the Hades book tag because I couldn't find anybody who'd done a Hades book tag, so I was like, I'm gonna make one because it has consumed my life. And I mean that like literally, like I haven't read that much. Like I don't think that I started and finished a book in July. Like, I may have finished a book that I started in June, and I may have started a book and haven't finished it yet. But I did not start and finish a book in July. I do not think so. I could double check, but I'm not going to, because I'm pretty sure that's right. Anyway, Hades, right? It's a game. It's a video game that you can play, I think, on either PC or Switch. I am not sure if it's available on any other consoles. I play it on PC because I don't own a Switch, because I don't play that many video games. And the whole point is that you are trying to escape from the underworld. So you're trying to escape from Hades, because it's Greek mythology based. So you're playing as a character named Zagreus. He is the prince of Hades, so he's the son of Hades. And yes, I know it gets very confusing when I use Hades as a place and Hades as a person. I'm sorry. I'll try and use the underworld when I mean Hades as a place. But yeah, so there is Tartarus that you have to escape from, and so you have to go through different chambers of monsters to fight them, and then you have to beat the boss at the end of Tartarus, and then you move up to Asphodel, which is covered in fire because the fates hate me and want to see me suffer. No, it's because of the river. I can't remember how you pronounce the river's name, so I'm just gonna try, and you can criticize me in the comments all you want to. It's filet mignon? No, it's not filet mignon. That's a fish food. It's like Flamagon. I don't know. It's like PH. You know the one. The fire one. So, anyway, you have to do all of those monster chambers and then fight a giant hydra, like a bone hydra at the end of that level. And then you move up to Elysium, where like all of these heroes are trying to kill you, and you have to fight Theseus as the boss for that. Theseus, not only Theseus, but you also have to fight Asterius, who is the Minotaur, essentially. Theseus and the Minotaur became buds, I guess, in the underworld after Theseus killed him. It's weird, but it's fun. And there's the Temple of Styx, which is after Elysium, and that has like a bunch of weird rodents and stuff that you have to fight. And then I don't know what the boss battle is because I haven't gotten to it yet. I presume, and this is a very big presumption, but I presume it's Cerberus, and I really don't want to fight him. So I hope I just never get there, because my point in playing the game is not to beat the game, it's to reunite Achilles and Patroclus. Yes, I realize I've been rambling on about this for 4 minutes. This will probably be cut down, but still. Anyway, Achilles and Patroclus are separated in this game, and Patroclus is in Elysium, so that's the 3rd level, and you have to do these all in one run, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. You can't be like, oh, I beat the Tartarus boss, it saved my progress, now I'm gonna move to Asphodel and not worry about Tartarus anymore. No. You have to start from Tartarus every single time you die. Every time. And so to get to Elysium is really hard. At least for somebody who doesn't play video games, which is me. So I was like, I gotta get to Patroclus. I gotta get to Patroclus. And so I finally got to him, and I've given him some nectar, and we're on the road. We're on the road to reuniting them, okay? It's gonna come soon, I think. But anyway, this was a very long intro to say, yes, I made a Hades book tag because all I've been doing is playing Hades. Also, you can, like, romance characters at the very end when you get your friendship up high enough, and Thanatos is one of the romanceable characters, so I've kind of fallen into a rabbit hole of them, of the two of them, Zagreus and Thanatos. So anyway, they're together on this list. Not together as in they have a question together, but I like listed them together. So anyway, let's get to the questions. The first question is Zagreus, obviously, and that is to name a book you read for escapism because he's trying to escape the underworld. Hilarious, I know. I'm so clever. Anyway, I didn't pull out any books, so you're just gonna get covers over here, probably. And that book that I chose is The Song of Achilles. I read this book back in 2014, and it was purely for escapism. I hated my life. Well, I didn't hate my life that much, but like, I was really depressed, and like, I was like, I heard really good things about this book on Tumblr. I'm gonna read it. So I read it, and I read it for escapism. I did not read it to criticize it. I did not read it to review it. I literally just read it for escapism. And it was good, and it's my favorite book, and I don't think I need to tell you what it's about. Next is Thanatos, and that is name a book that deals with death, or, if you don't want to go there, you can name a book with an unlikely hero because Thanatos comes in and helps you in the game. So I went with the first option, which is to name a book that deals with death. And for that I'm going with The Ghost We Keep by Mason Deaver. I know this deals with grief a lot, and I haven't read it, so I can't talk about it that much, but I want to read it. It's behind me. I want to read it. I'm going to eventually read it. And yeah, I know it's really heavy and it deals with death, and it seemed good for this question. Next is Achilles, and that is to name a book with a good mentor character. And for that, I'm actually going with Fence. I don't know which Fence cover I'll put up. Maybe I'll put up Volume 1, maybe I'll put up Fence Striking Distance. I don't know. I kinda just mean all of them. 'Cause, like, I think that the coach in Fence is, like, pretty cool and pretty good. So she was, I didn't want to do any repeats, so I didn't want to be like Chiron from the Song of Achilles, because I've already mentioned the Song of Achilles. So that's why I chose the coach from Fence. Next is Patroclus, and that's to name a book that deals with amnesia or name a tragic love story. So you can name a book that deals with amnesia because when you first meet Patroclus, he doesn't remember who he is. It's real sad. So there's that explanation for that question. And a tragic love story, obviously, because him and Achilles are separated. It's tragic. So name a tragic love story. I am going with the first one, though. I'm naming a book that deals with amnesia, and that is Reverie by Ryan LaSala. This book I read last year, I believe, like during lockdown, and it was good. I remember it being good. It deals with like these things called reveries, which are kind of like dreams, but like people can be like awake in them and like make sure they don't like take over the world or something like that. And the main character has amnesia and doesn't remember any of the people that he's working with or the things he's doing. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, amnesia for that one. I couldn't think of another tragic love story besides the Song of Achilles, so I was like, well, gotta go with amnesia. Next is Dusa, and the way she's presented in the game is she's just a floating Gorgon head, like, you know, the ones with the snakes, but she doesn't turn anybody to stone. She's actually, like, really nice and really helpful, and she's just trying to clean up the House of Hades, and she just likes Zagreus, and, like, she's so pure. So that is why her question is to name a character who's a complete cinnamon roll. And for that I'm going with Biddy from Check Please. He is the purest of the pure, honestly. He just wants to bake pies and stuff for his teammates, and he just wants to be happy with his teammates, and his teammates make him happy, and I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, he's a cinnamon roll, and I love him. Next is Hypnos. If you're not aware, Thanatos and Hypnos are like twins. Thanatos is death and Hypnos is sleep. And it's really funny because Hypnos is always at like the entrance to the House of Hades. And he's supposed to keep track of everybody that enters through, like, you know, the river Styx or whatever. And he falls asleep on the job quite a lot. So, like, every time you walk by him, he's usually sleeping. But then he, like, wakes up to talk to you. It's funny. I like him. So his question is, name a book you'd read as a bedtime story. And I went with The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. So, The Lightning Thief, I think, would make an excellent bedtime story. Just because, like, it has enough, like, intrigue to, like, keep the kid, like, interested in it. And, like, want to come back to it every night. But it's not, like, you know, crazy or anything. It's a middle grade, so, like, it's good for kids. And it's interesting. It's fun. You know? I don't know. I just think it'd make a good bedtime story. If I have to read a bedtime story, I'm reading that. And no one can stop me. Next is Chaos, who is a god. He's a primordial god. He's a god even before Nyx, who is the goddess of darkness, was a god. So their question, because I believe that they use they, them pronouns for Chaos in the game, is name the oldest book on your shelf. And for that I'm going with White Fang, because I believe I've had this book since middle school. I don't think I've had any of my other books besides maybe Marley and Me from middle school. So, yeah. I've had it for a long time. I did read it. It's good old realism. Or was it naturalism? I can't remember. It's one of those. It's by Jack London, who also wrote Call of the Wild. White Fang is like the opposite of Call of the Wild. So yeah, still it's on my bookshelf. Next is Charon. Not Chiron, Charon. The boatman of the river Styx, who likes to sell you things in the game. So you have to have gold for him to, like, sell you things. And so his question is, name a book with gold on the cover. And for that I'm going with Golden Boy. Specifically, the one that I have is gold. So I'll try and find the one that I have on Google and put it up. Because I know there's another cover that doesn't have gold on it. But the cover I have does have gold on it, so that's what I'm going with. As I was saying before, Nyx is the goddess of night. And her question is, name a dark book. This could be the subject matter is dark, or the cover is dark. It doesn't really matter. Just a dark book, whatever you think that means. And for that I'm going with Call Down the Hawk, not because of its dark, I mean it has semi-dark subject matter in it, but really it just has a dark cover. That's why I went with it. The one that I have has a dark cover, like orange and black. Can't get, I mean orange is pretty bright, but it's like a dull orange, so it's not even that bright, so it's dark. Next is Hades, the character. And it's name a book with a family secret, because there is a family secret in the game Hades, but I won't reveal what it is. You can probably guess if you know Greek mythology. Maybe. But, anyway, name a book with a family secret. For that I'm going with In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens. The family secret is that Tal has magic. they keep it a family secret because they don't want everybody to know Tal has magic. So it's like a family secret, and they're like, no, you can't tell anybody, people will freak out, blah 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 blah. So anyway, that's the family secret, and I haven't given you summaries for like anything, so I'm not gonna start giving you summaries now. I just thought about that. But yeah, In Deeper Waters. It's a good book, really good book. I really enjoyed it. I read it in June. Next is Meg. She is one of the Furies. She's actually your first boss battle. Her question is to name a book with a complex villain, because she's also like in the House of Hades sometimes, and you can like talk to her, and she's like, I don't want to do this, but I have to do this, and I'm gonna kill you next time, even though she never kills me next time because I'm really good at beating her. So yeah, complex villain, and I chose the Electric Heir, not the Fever King, because he is a villain in the Fever King, don't get me wrong, but he's definitely more of a villain in the Electric Heir, and so I went with the Electric Heir because he's more of a villain in the Electric Heir, but he's still a complex villain. I'm not going to tell you who the villain is because that's slight spoilers for the Fever King, but if you've read the Fever King, you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, he's complex, he's a villain, he answers the question. Next is Tisiphone, who is another one of the Furies who you have to fight sometimes. They alternate. You can fight Meg, you can fight Tisiphone, you can fight the next character who's the next question. So anyway, Tisiphone literally just says murder or murderer. She'll like enunciate it longer to make it sound like kind of a phrase. But yeah, those are the only two words she says. So the question for her is to name your favorite murder mystery. And I went with Witchmark. This is more of a historical fantasy murder mystery. It's really good though. So basically the murder mystery element is that there is a guy who died in the hands of this guy who has magic, and there's this other guy there with him, and they have to figure out who killed him because he was pretty sure he was murdered. And so yeah, that's the murder mystery part of it. There's also fantasy part of it, but I'm not going to go into that because it's been 20 minutes and I feel like I will have a hell of a time editing this video. So anyway, Witchmark, great murder mystery, even though it has also fantasy and historical elements in it. Or historical fantasy elements in it. Next is Alecto, who is the final Fury that you can meet in Tartarus. And it is name your favorite book with erotic scenes, and yes, Fade to Blacks do count in my opinion. Or you can just name a book with a character who's very passionate about something if you don't like books with erotic scenes. Or Fade to Blacks. Because some people would be like, no, they're not the same thing. Even though like they're both kind of the same thing. You would probably think I would go with The King's Men for this, right? No, that's not what I'm going with. So, Spellbound is what I wrote down, but really the entire Magic in Manhattan series has good Fade to Black sex scenes. But anyway, Spellbound, you've heard me talk about it a lot. It's really good, and the romance is really good in it too. It has really good, like, Fade to Black sex scenes. Like I said, they're really good. I really enjoyed them. So that's what I'm going with for that question. And those are all of the character questions, but there's still more questions. Don't worry, there are 20 questions in total. I made this tag really long. The next are the 4 places that I mentioned earlier that you have to go through. So first we have Tartarus, which is name a book with monsters in it, because I couldn't think of anything better. And so for that I'm going with The Sword of Summer by Rick Riordan. This is the Magnus Chase series. I didn't want to go with another Percy Jackson book, even though I go with another Percy Jackson book for another question. and I couldn't figure out another book that has monsters in it that isn't written by Rick Riordan. So I was like, sure, Magnus Chase works. Magnus Chase is Percy Jackson with Norse gods, but better, kind of. I don't know. Hot takes over here. LOL. Speaking of hot, the next question is Asphodel, which is to name a book with fire on the cover or in the title. For Asphodel, I'm going with The House of Hades, by Rick Riordan. I'm going with The House of Hades because it's the only book that I could find that has fire on the cover. There's a book behind me that has fire in the title, I'm just now realizing, but I don't know if I'm allowed to speak about that book right now. I don't want to do any damage, cause any harm, any kind of stuff like that. So, we're going with The House of Hades, even though I've already gone with the Percy Jackson book. It's fine. So, anyway, The House of Hades. The House of Hades is also great, because it has that river I was talking about. That river is on the cover of The House of Hades, because Annabeth and Percy have to, like, walk by the fire river that I can't pronounce, and it's wild. So, why wouldn't I choose The House of Hades? It's the obvious choice. Next is Elysium, which is to name a book that deals with heroes of some sort, and you get bonus points if the heroes are a dick. So for this I'm going with Ariadne, which is a retelling of the story of Theseus from Ariadne's perspective. Obviously Theseus is a hero, Theseus is a dick, so he fits the question, even though the book isn't specifically about him, it's about Ariadne. He plays a really big part in the book that I haven't finished. I think I'm on chapter 8. But he's still a big part. I know he's gonna be a big part. It counts, okay? It counts. And then Temple of Styx is to name a disgusting book. Now, this could be a subject matter that's disgusting. This could be a cover that's disgusting. This could be whatever you interpret the question to be. You can still like the book and find it disgusting. Like the book I'm about to talk about, Mr. Impossible. This book, the cover, the title, disgusting. Not good. Even though I have the Owl Crate copy, it's not good. The original cover and title, Mr. Impossible, not good. Pretty disgusting, if you ask me. And the reason why it's named a disgusting book is because the Temple of Styx is just disgusting. There's rats and other weird, creepy, disgusting creatures that you have to fight, and I've never made it past them, so I can't tell you what the boss is. That's all the places. There's only 3 questions left, I swear. And they're like all different items that you can get. So the first one is nectar, which you give to people that you want to be friends with. And so that question is to name a book with characters you want to be friends with. For that, I'm going with Cemetery Boys, because I would just love to be friends with the main 3 characters in that book. Yadriel, Julian, and Maritza. Maybe Maritza can, like, help me out with being a vegetarian. And then Yadriel and me can just, you know, like, bond over how bad binders are. Binders are great, but wet binders are terrible, so we can bond over that. And then me and Julian can just chill, vibe. Next, penultimately, is the Centaur Heart, which gives you life in the game. So name a book that gives you life. You can interpret this however you want to. I'm going with Heartstopper, because Heartstopper is just so pure, so good. I love it so much, it gives me life. So, the last one is Daedalus Hammer. In the game, these hammers, like, give your weapons upgrades. So my question is, name a book with a cover that could use an upgrade. And for that, I went with The Raven King by Nora Sakavic, which is the second book in the All for the Game series. It looks like what you're seeing on the screen, and as you can see, it's not great. It could use an upgrade. Comment question of the day is, have you played the game Hades? If you have, let me know all about it. Just your favorite weapon, your favorite boon, your favorite, I don't know, character to visit, like, is it Sisyphus? Is it Patroclus? Is it Eurydice? Who knows? Just tell me. Tell me in the comments. Fuel my hyperfixation on this game. And if you haven't played the game Hades, just be like, yo, I haven't played the game Hades. But these are cool questions, am I right? You can do that. And then if you want to leave an emoji, leave a fire emoji, I guess, because I talked a lot about fire in this. That's all I got for you today. Hope you enjoyed this original tag. I'm probably gonna go play Hades some more. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.